Joyous time zones. Oh, Lord. Welcome to Sako and the Moon, brought to you by a couple of self-publishing horror authors. This is where we explore the world of self-publishing in the horror genre. In today's episode, we dive deep into the realm of Balticon 58.
And random thumbs up.
And random thumbs up.
It just reminds you to go ahead and hit like on the video because, you know, there's a thumbs up. I guess that was my cue from the universe. Because the universe does universe things.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to do the intro thing. Okay, so
I forgot we had that.
You forgot we had that.
It's been so long since we did this show. It's been like a whole week.
It's been a whole week. Usually I have a Sako thing that I say, don't I? I know it's in season 1. I am Sako Toomey, artist and author and a bunch of other things, but we'll just mention that I'm a self-published author 3 times over. I've been working on my craft for decades, and now I'd like to share my skills with you guys.
I'm Dewan L. Hearn, more affectionately known as the Moon. I don't have anything really fancy to say besides that, and I've done some stuff, and I do some things. I published a book once, and I made a short film. I'm going to keep doing that for a while. In the meantime, I'm here talking to you people so that you people can do these things. One of the best places you can learn to do these things, like I've learned, are going to these conventions. Now, we'll go into conventions at some later point in time in this season.
Yes, we will.
But today,
we're gonna talk about a specific convention.
One that she is currently at.
The one that I am currently at, Balticon 58 in Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah.
That was not planned. That was not even scripted.
That was not planned.
We're just really good. See how good we are at this show? We've been doing it for so long. Like 4 months or something.
Like 4 months or something. Yeah.
Has it been about 4 months? About 3, 4? Yeah, it's been about almost 4 months.
February.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, she's actually at Balticon. I'm in my same old space. And so most of the focus is going to be on, I got to learn to do this the right direction. Most of this is going to be focused on Sako and her experience at this particular con. Now, this is a con that I've never attended. In fact, I've never been to Baltimore, Maryland even. So I'm going to have a lot of questions about this con because I probably want to go. I might even be there next year. No promises. But who knows? But first and foremost, what's the weather like?
Oh, it's nice and warm without it being too hot. Like bright and sunny. So of course I'm like, but weather is nice.
Crazy humid, even though you're right by the ocean, not too far. I'm assuming.
Oh, I'm so used to it. I don't think I would even notice.
That's fair.
I live on a swamp, like. Yeah.
Now you're clearly in a hotel.
I am clearly in my hotel room. I mean, I have my badge.
Is she special?
That is because I'm doing it for the con. I'm doing this for the con.
Okay. One of her many skills, which is why her name was first. Also, it sounds better. What's the space like? Like the hotel?
The hotel itself is the Renaissance. It is at a hotel. It is at the Renaissance Harbor Place. At the same time as Balticon is Maryland Death Fest. So it is both super geekery and also like metalheads staying in this hotel this weekend, which is a
Now,
blast.
that
So I get
sounds
to
good.
geek out all over the place.
So what's that other thing? I mean, that's not the subject of the episode, but what's the other event called?
Maryland Death Fest is a
Maryland.
like black metal, death metal.
I might have to look this up because that's something that's ridiculous. First of all, so you have these metalheads and these Renaissance type dragon.
No, not even Renaissance, but like these like super geekery, been doing it like most of their lives, like sci-fi fantasy people and
So
authors.
how
There's
what
like
is
an
that
author
dynamic? What's that
um
dynamic in the hotel looking like?
oh, we're all friends.
Is that common to have on the same weekend?
I would, I mean, like mostly the metalheads keep to themselves, but I'm, of
As most
course,
metalheads.
staff. So I'm like, are you here for Maryland Death Fest? Oh my God, have a good time. So, yeah, usually I have a friend who comes in from Massachusetts, but he decided not to come this year.
Well, people get busy. All right.
I hope to see him. I hope to see him in September.
So you're there to do photography. What exactly are you taking pictures of? What's there to see and capture?
Oh, so let's see here. I've got programming and events. So there's panels and workshops.
Hmm.
There's author readings and signings.
Always fun.
There's the art show, the dealer's room, the costuming and masquerade, gaming, like role-playing games and board games and video games and stuff. Film and video presentations, science programming, because space exploration and emerging technologies, and there's a particular scientist that specializes in dinosaurs, so that's going to be that's a really popular panel. And this particular con, Mark Roth and Ellen Montgomery are getting married tonight at the con, right after opening ceremonies. So I'm going to have to leave opening ceremonies like a half an hour before it ends. So I'm hoping to get some help with the opening ceremonies so that I
You
can
get a
shoot the
little
wedding.
after, don't you?
Usually I am that person who has to be in multiple places at once, but I have a team this year. There's actually a publicity team and volunteers who are trying to help. So I actually have some support during the opening ceremonies today.
That is definitely a benefit to you. Now, we mentioned um, draws to my attention. I do film as well. So, what's the film aspect look like for an event like Balticon?
What's to say? Screenings of movies, TV shows, and fan-made films. Um, which usually implies like there. I want to say that there's like a thing for film, but I could be terribly wrong about that.
So we can look into maybe like the independent filmmaker might be able to submit a film to Balticon.
I'm gonna have to look into it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll definitely look into that and get back to everybody about that because I'm sure a filmmaker wants to put their work in literally every and ever, any place that they
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah,
Definitely want to put it in the Balticon if that's a possibility.
for
Now,
sure.
panels. I've only been to one convention before, so I know how they do their panels, but I've also seen some other events do some More like press conferences. So how are things?
Those are like Comic-Con panels.
There's no convention, so that's why I'm asking the difference. If no one's ever been to Balticon, how would they know? So I'm asking, how would they? What's the panels like? Are they open?
So panels work identical to other cons that are like have an author undercurrent, like Necronomicon, Florida, like Imaginarium in Kentucky, like the panels work the same way. So there's a moderator, and there's like 3 or 4 or 5 like commenters, like not experts per se, but they have experience in the subject matter, and they have a discussion regarding the subject. And there's usually a Q&A at the end.
Okay, that was my next question. Is it more lecture style, or is it more?
There are workshops. In fact, I hope to be going to a improving your pitch workshop tomorrow. So I'll definitely be taking notes then. And hopefully I can get someone to shoot in my stead at the other panels.
How long have
So,
you been?
how long have I been going?
Yeah.
My first time was 2003, I think.
So for like a hot second.
But I didn't go for the longest time. And then I was invited to be the photographer. So Morgan has been working with them for forever, basically. And I am her photographer friend. So that is where we're at.
Do you really enjoy your time there? Like, is
I
it
try
really
to.
fun with that fun, like low key family type of environment? Is everybody's getting to
Low-key
know?
family type of environment. A lot of the Baltimore Science Fiction Society, or BISFIS as we so fondly call it, a lot of them are aging out. So we're looking for newer members to kind of uphold the science fiction fantasy sort, and like the author undercurrent. A lot of the members of the society are authors, so that's where the undercurrent comes from. So we use Balticon in an attempt to gain members.
That makes sense. So Balticon is really driven towards the sci-fi fantasy. Are we talking about like spaceships and dragons? Not necessarily in the same works, but I'm sure if it was,
There are quite a few that are in the same works, yes. But yes, there's a Heinlein Award, and I forget what the Heinlein Award is the thing. Okay, so my help is finally here, which is great.
You can see she's busy, like she's actively working right
I
while
hope so.
doing the show.
While I'm doing the show.
It's crazy. See why she's doing the show? This is crazy. This is talent right there, people. Gotta get like Sako.
No, don't be like Sako. It would overwhelm even the hardest of hearts.
Sorry, we believe in you. So I guess the point of my question was to see like who should be looking into attending Balticon 59. I'm assuming.
Authors for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists.
Okay.
Science is extremely popular. And fans of both those things, of sci-fi and fantasy. But I think if you're an author of those things, you really get a lot of bang for your buck.
Now you and I are both horror authors. This really
Mhm.
a space for horror authors to be?
So, urban fantasy with horror overtones seems to do better here
Okay.
than like
Straightforward horror.
straight horror. Yeah. Necronomicon in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
that is for horror writers. That's at the end of September.
Gotcha. I have to look into that.
Yeah, look into that. I think you get a lot out of it, and
So
it's
what else
super
is
fun.
there? So what else is there to do? You're the one there. You're at the hotel. You're at the event. There's things happening. There's a
There's
wedding
things
tonight.
happening. There's a history. Um, so Balticon is an annual science fiction and fantasy convention held in Baltimore, Maryland, right? Organized by the Baltimore Science Fiction Society. It typically takes place over the Memorial Day weekend. It was founded in 1967, making it one of the longer running science fiction conventions in the United States. The managed by the BSFS, or BUSFS, as we so fondly call them, a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting science fiction and fantasy literature, art, and media. Panels and workshops, discussions on various topics, including literature, art, science, technology, pulp culture. Workshops often focus on writing, illustration, and other creative pursuits. Author readings and signings, opportunities to meet and interact with both well-known and emerging authors. So, if you
Well, that was unexpected. Probably something with the hotel. She'll be back on here in a second. Um, in the meantime, oh,
sorry about
there
that.
she is.
Accidentally hit the back button.
It's cool. We were still broadcasting. I didn't have the chance to say anything stupid yet.
I have too many windows open is the problem.
So busy. But she was dedicated to do the show anyway, people. Live. She's there right now. I tell y'all every week we do this thing live and it's ridiculous. They should never give me a live mic.
I'm gonna let my Facebook know that yes, I am. If I can find it. Has nobody reacted to it? Go to my fucking profile.
I'm going to ask more about Bisfus in a second, but she's busy.
Okay.
Okay.
So what were you saying?
Well, you're telling us about the organization and the history. It's been around so bloody long. Hence why it's, I guess, 58 for that matter. That sounds about right. Bisphus. Let's talk about more about Bisphus, which is this fun word.
I
Sounds like
don't
a
know. So it's a year-round thing. It's one of those kind of societies um, where you pay a fee. How much the fee is, I'm not sure. And they have in-person meetings and virtual meetings, which involve like a little bit of critique partner goodness and goal setting and uh, like being able to vent about your writing and there's a Bisphus building, of course.
This
Of
happens to
course.
her all the time. I love
It's not a clubhouse because that would put them in a different tax bracket, so it's a building.
it. So it sounds like, and I know you said you don't know a whole lot about them, but it sounds like it's to keep the genre alive of science fiction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're looking for like you people who are under 70 to take over the reins, basically.
Well, my knee is disqualified because old me has at least an 80-year-old knee, it feels like. The rest of me is about 40. My knee's probably closer to 80.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
From the space of a horror author, and then seeing an organization like the Baltimore Science Fiction, I almost screwed that up.
Science Fiction
But
Society, yeah.
I was so close. Um, do you feel like there is something in horror needed to do the same thing to help like keep the genre, I don't want to say pure, but keep it
Like
alive and
fleshed
keep it
out.
healthy?
Isn't
Keep it
there
healthy.
isn't there a horror society already?
There is the Horrors Writers Association, I believe, the HWA,
Uh
to which I'm not a part of, but I have friends that are members.
Apparently, it was a film in 1989 and remade in 2022.
What was?
Um, honor.
What movies you look up?
Your voice for independent horror. Horror Society appears to be like a magazine of sorts.
Interesting.
So submitting to be a article writer would be a good idea. It would be super cool if Video Horror Society is shutting down, which was a video game, a tribute to 1980s horror.
Do you see an organization like
There,
this?
there doesn't seem to be an organization for us. There is and maybe we should start one. Maybe there is a support group, a writer support group that I attend, which they kind of put up with me there. It's mostly venting about writing and then talking about goals, right?
Yeah.
And Doc Coleman, who that's how I know Doc Coleman is he runs that group. It pertains to his to the town he lives in,
Right.
but it's virtual. We do it over Zoom, so like anyone can join.
And Doc Coleman, I don't know him personally, but if you're interested in this guy who she's talking about, you can go to your favorite search engine and look up Doc Coleman steampunk, and you can find all the stuff about his works, and it'll lead you to his website and his author page on Amazon. Shout out Doc Coleman.
Shout out Doc Coleman.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
And we'll see him on Morgan's channel again this weekend.
And you know why I brought that up? Because he's going to be at Balticon.
He
They're
is
all
at Balticon.
Morgan's
Absolutely.
at Balticon, and we're going to go ahead and throw this out there on Sunday. There's going to be the productivity stream that Sako's usually a part of with Morgan Hazelwood and Doc Coleman. They're going to be there.
And a live audience.
And a live audience. Yo, I'm telling you, crazy things happen when you do things with a live audience. I'm sure we'll figure that out here really soon. Did I hint to something? We'll find out that later on. But keep watching the show because it's going to get real stupid by the end of this season.
It's going to be stupid awesome. Yeah.
It's going to be so dumb. It's going to be so great. And you're going to realize that I have my hands all in it. It's going to be, that's ridiculous. Clearly, I have my hands all in it. So much fun. But yes, these are the kind of things that will take place at Balticon. Sako's going to be an active member of this kind of a panel, and it's a productivity stream where you're there, you bring your work. I'm assuming people will be just doing their own thing live in the room.
Live in the room.
So they do these I guess if it's Morgan's, it'll be like 24-minute sprints. We'll see how that plays out. And because it's 2024 and she has a sense of humor. And you just do your work while you're there, or snack.
Yeah, whatever so bring a snack, and work on your writing, and that is all. Those are the two. Maybe even do both simultaneously.
I'm more of a both kind of person. I like to snack.
I'm more of a both kind of person. Yeah.
And those kind of productivity streams and these kinds of panels, and I think the benefit would be to be able to be productive in a space with other productive people. We mentioned writing groups and writing societies and writing clubs. Most local places have one, whether you've heard of it or not. Check either your area, your nearby big city, or your state. There might be one already sponsored by someone around you, because writers are everywhere.
Yes.
And there's a big benefit to independence, because we don't have that big machine around us, to have that support system that we're always talking about. And that support system can easily come from these types of groups and organizations. So just look up where you are and find one near you. If not, go online, because it's not just Morgan and Sako who put on productivity streams. There's so many other authors out there and writers who do these productivity streams on broadcasts similar to this. We talk the whole time, but they don't. They just give you a space and a time, and it helps to just have a focus on the writing. Now, we talk about support systems, why I was going in on that, and I've got a lot of my support system from Con. So tell me about the camaraderie that develops at Balticon.
So Balticon serves as a hub for fans and professionals to network, share ideas, and celebrate mutual interests. The convention fosters a welcoming and inclusive community, and dare I say, celebrating diversity, encouraging participation from people of all ages and backgrounds. I don't know. Does any of that answer your question? Or, I mean, it's really like the next generation is. So everywhere I look, I have like a new writer grandma or a new writer grandpa. I'm getting in that age group where from 40 to 59, are starting to show up to the con. And that's uh, heartwarming, encouraging, especially when they're bringing their kids, when they're bringing their grandkids. Um, like the tiniest Doctor Who shirt, like
Yeah.
adorable.
So one of the bigger and more important things you mentioned is the inclusion and the diversity. Now, this isn't to single any group out, no matter how diverse the world might claim it. It's really for literally everyone. When we say we want to be inclusive, we want to include literally everyone. If you have this common
Literally.
interest, if you have this common interest and you're not a jerk, come through conventions. There's a space for you. There's a seat at the table for you. Just again,
Right.
this is just make sure these are your people, and don't be an ass. Like that's really the only rule.
Just don't be an ass.
It's
Yeah,
really the
that's
only
pretty much
rule.
the only rule. I think the shining star of the con is the after parties.
Always the
Um,
after parties. Keep that in mind.
so tonight, because of the wedding, I don't think there's an after party that isn't the reception for the wedding.
Sure.
Um, the tomorrow night, Morgan and I are hosting. I think Cat Clave, which is New Jersey? Question mark. Which is very similar. There's also BozCon, which is based out of Boston. I believe they throw a party as well. So it's just like a row of rooms, just throwing parties Saturday and probably Sunday night. Um, trying to get rid of supply.
And there's a lot to be now. Normally, you would say that your after parties is just a full debauchery. That only applies if I'm there. But what you really get from an after party, and I've learned this firsthand, is that while everyone is at their tables trying to present themselves as the professionals that they are, they're trying to sell their products. You get to realize you get to see the real person in a very low key, low stress, no pressure type of environment because no one's got their cash register out at an after party.
No.
They may have a drink in their hand, cocktail or mocktail. No one judges. And, you know, they're just there to have a good time, to relax and get to know each other as people. And I can tell you, it's in those extra spaces where you get to truly network in partnership with people. This show would not exist without those kinds of spaces. So you
Yeah.
can see where the low key, um, non professional environment, like random people squeezed into the backseat of a car going to get ice cream, can turn into a professional opportunity. Um,
Right.
the people we're working with on some of the short films that Hallowed Hills is working on, partnering up with people we've met at other cons, and it's just that's just the beauty of going to conventions like Balticon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're going to meet people, you're going to find people with common interests. I mean, hey, at that convention, if you're working on some sort of film, there might be some music people going
Oh,
around to the other event.
there is a Filk track on the schedule. So Filk artists, Filk is basically a parody song,
Thank you for
right?
telling me 'cause I had no clue what you're
So there is a room that is dedicated to it, which is like right across the hall, really. The they bring in parody artists, and there is a musical guest of honor who is Rhiannon's Lark. I think the name of the musical thing is. It's um, Alyssa Liger, I think, is the
Some
lady
people.
behind it. Sh uh, just great stuff. If you are into parody music or music about sci-fi and fantasy, um, yeah, that's
Who doesn't love a good Weird Al style parody? I'm just saying. Me personally, I
he,
love a Weird Al parody.
exactly.
But no, it's like, so if you're working on other projects like uh, music, like movies particularly, because I do film as well, then that's someone in that hall might be playing music in their room, or you might see them at a party. Like, you know what? I like that song. How can I get you to help me with music at for my project? And you're like, you know what? Here's my number. Let's exchange social medias and collaborate. And you never know. All kinds of
Parties are a
opportunities.
great place to collaborate. It's a networking opportunity. It's a opportunity to see people for um, when they're not selling something, when they are unwinding for the day. Um, it is, and they're it's you catch them in between the workspace and the not workspace. So they're all about networking. They're all about getting to know each other. Um, and you're treated like family by pretty much everyone. It's pretty cool.
And that's one of the things. I mean, I think we mentioned it in nearly every episode. When you're an independent and you're forced to wear the Omni hat, networking is important, marketing is important, and you're going to run it. Cons like Balticon, these are the kind of places you almost have to be at,
Yeah.
because I don't know a whole lot, but I run into people who do. Someone might be putting on opening for submissions to a magazine. And maybe I have no idea about that. So I run into their table and they're like, hey, do you write sci-fi, or in my case, do you write horror? Well, I have this magazine and I'm opening for submissions.
I
I'm
I
opening for a
got
little while.
accosted last night by a guy who is starting a magazine for horror and urban fantasy. So no like super serial killers, gory sort of stuff, but like
But the low-key
kind
horror
of
stuff.
reining it in a little bit, depending
Because
on the
my,
level
my
of
book
horror.
My book is recognized as horror, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of blood, guts, and killing and murders and such. It's just a horrific situation,
Right.
and those are the kind of things. Now, that's the thing. You meet people at the cons, and they tell you about the things, and now you know. Now you've learned, and you never know. Submitting to that magazine might be what puts that magazine on. Might be just
Mhm.
what puts you on. That might be what gets the eyes on some publisher or some agent. 'Cause I don't know. I mean, if there was like a list of agents out there somewhere, I mean, I'm sure it would help out people to some
Actually,
degree.
Morgan is working with a guy named Patrick, and
What?
they
I didn't
are
know that.
compiling a list of open agents, open
Publishers.
publishers, publicators. What the fuck,
Words are
Sako?
hard. It's okay.
And keeping it updated. So they're hoping to recruit someone who is willing to maintain a list like that. Not it. Not it.
But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like these people are out there. These resources are out there. That's why we do this show. because we find out about these resources, we meet these people, then you get to meet these people. And maybe
Yeah.
we'll bring those people on to here. I mean, who knows? We might start doing interviews and have do more interviews and having guests on here more often. I mean, I don't know. We might be able to find
I'm hoping to do that. I have a couple of
publicator in there,
people.
right?
I have a couple of people in my back pocket that I'm hoping to interview on this show. So,
Have anyone in my back pocket? Do I have anyone in my back pocket? I'll keep that to myself for now. A couple weeks, I might bring that to you.
that's funny.
See, this is the kind of goofy stuff that happens. This is that kind of low key, professional, but not really professional thing that we're talking about all the time. This is what you want out of your cons. You want to go to a con that feels comfortable. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is find one that suits you. Not so much what your needs are, but suits you so that you are having fun and you're comfortable there. Like she said, Balticon is a family. I mean, it's so damn family oriented. There's an actual wedding taking place. What's the story on that?
I have no idea. I'll find out tonight.
There's
This
a
is
genuine
this is
actual.
Mark's sixth marriage. Number 6.
You know what? Third time's a charm twice.
There you go. There you go.
There you are.
I could make more comment, but I won't.
I will not, because I don't know these people, so I have nothing to say. But what I will say is, if they are happy, I am happy for them. Kudos to them. Cheers.
Muscle tough.
But imagine how comfortable you have to be to choose Balticon as your wedding venue.
Yeah.
Not to mention the stroke you have to have, but the fact that you're this comfortable with the environment that this is a place you're going to have your wedding. If that doesn't sell a con to you about how friendly and comfortable and safe it has to be, if that doesn't sell it, I don't know what would.
Yeah. And the patrons are like the guests of honor and you know the people who attend the con and all of that, you know. So if you're going to Balticon, you are immediately invited.
You are
It's on the
cordially
schedule
invited.
and everything.
That's right. And then when you see her walk around with the camera, say what's up to Sako, tell her you love the show, and you can't wait to see her on the 14 million other streams that she has per week on the interwebs. And she hates when I say that, which is why I continue to say it.
You know I hate when you say that. Yeah.
Well, she's super busy. She's got like 1,000,005 different shows that she does.
But it's not 1,000,005. It's like 5. What I'd like to get into is GMing a game, like a role-playing game at Balticon.
Okay.
My games usually only last like 2 hours, maybe 3, and are usually horror themed. So, be it Ravenloft or be it like World of Darkness or whatever, Call of Cthulhu.
He doesn't
That
have my number. He can't call.
that's all open for discussion. I would also. I'm considering. Wow, this went on crooked. I really messed that up. I really.
Squirrel.
It's crooked as fuck. Look how crooked it is.
Oh, it's a little crooked.
It is super crooked.
All right, it's okay. So GM the games.
So yes, I would like to. And what's to say I won't do that at Imaginarium? Like or at Necronomicon or anywhere else. Like I'll just take the game to same game, just take it to different cons.
Now,
Matacon in Virginia, like
gaming has become really, really big. I mean, I don't know if it's because you have sites like Twitch where people are showcasing it more. I think earlier today
Critical Role was really popular before they got canned.
I was watching the Tekken World Tour earlier. I know that's video gaming and that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about tabletops. But there's a lot of cons out there who are doing a gaming room or a gaming section or having something gaming themed. And I know you're involved in a lot of that. We might do some extra content or something where I learn how to do that, because I don't know why I would submit myself to that all of a sudden live on air, but
Oh my gosh, that would be
screw it.
an excellent like after hours
Screw it. Let's do it.
episode. It's me running you through a scenario.
Training me, training my character, my whatever character I have. We'll
If
see
you
how
do
that
a
works.
character, if you even do a character, I might do a choose your own adventure sort of situation.
It could be. See, you know what? I'll do that. Yeah, you know what? Why not? It's because that's what we do here. I will sacrifice myself for the sake of you.
You just throw yourself on that landmine.
I
Yeah.
mean, might as well. You know, the only thing I ask for in exchange is to hit that like button right there and go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and ring the bell. She'll say it again later on, but you go ahead and do it
I
now so you
will.
don't forget. I'm out of stuff. My
You're
list,
at it.
my big long list of questions that I had for you in Balticon, I'm done. So what else?
Okay.
We know we at the 45-minute mark. It's about when we run out of our official questions, and we just kind of
Yeah.
fly by the rest and just like, so what's up? What else is up? What did you have prepared that I told? So complete behind the scenes. I totally threw her off.
Special guests. So each year, Balticon invites notable guests from the world of science fiction and fantasy. This includes authors, artists, editors, scientists, and other luminaries who contribute to the genre. The writer guest of honor is L.E. Modesitt Jr., a prolific author known for his saga of Recluse fantasy series. Sheila Williams, the Hugo Award winning editor of Asimov's science fiction magazine, is the editor guest of honor. The musical guest is Rhiannon Zlark. Hey, I was right. The
Hey,
solo project of Alyssa Yeager. I was right again.
there you go
Who
too.
brings a unique blend of geek culture and music. The artist guest of honor is Omar Ryan, renowned for his whimsical and fantastical inspired historical oil painters. Um, he did the image for the badge. There is supposedly a program book with a bunch of art in it.
Save those. Save those. You have no idea. You may not know that name today. That name might be very popular 3, 5, 10 years. You got this unique book. Hold on to those kind of things.
Hold
You're going
on
to
to
see
them.
all those kinds of things as you go through events like this. Hold on to all of them. Just like in a box.
I kept NekoCon's books because I did the art for NekoCon for a few years running. And I don't so much do so anymore. I'm not sure what stopped. But I think because I think Artist Alley got handed over to someone not Dizzy. I think, yeah,
I wasn't there.
I know. I'm still like just like vomiting brain. You know how it is. All
I do.
right. So if you liked this video at any point, eh, then I encourage you to hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this one, you can usually find us on Friday afternoons at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube will actually notify you when we go live. And we will catch you on the flip side. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
There you go.